What's up, dudes? Max here. Some of you might have remembered about a month ago I had the chance to go to Chicago for a pretty big tournament and do some hosting, do some commentary, but the entire time I was down there I kept being told about this place by so many people called Galloping Ghost Arcade, and I eventually finally went there. Alright dudes, what's up? We are in Chicago, and I'm not even kidding, there's traffic going by messing up our audio, but it doesn't matter because myself and Godspeed Dustin here, we're here at the most famous arcade in Chicago.
Galloping Ghost, man, and it is...
Everyone at the tournament was telling us about
this.
It's
ridiculous.
And at this point, we were just commentating Killer Instinct, we just got deep dish pizza, our Chicago experience is almost complete, but now we're going to check out the most legendary arcade in the entire Midwest. Let's go.
Let's do this.
I could not believe what I was seeing. This arcade has more games than I think any arcade I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's not even that they're just games in general. It's pretty much a legacy arcade. A legacy of everything that I grew up with. It's rather insane, especially from the 80s and stuff in the early 90s. There's not a lot of 3D games in the arcade, but there is quite a few. But it just is mind-blowing how big this place is. Myself and Godspeed roamed the halls for pretty much what felt like about an hour just searching for all of these games. And there were things that I had never even seen before, and it was absolutely blowing my mind. Look, I've never seen one in person.
I have.
Honey, does this look familiar?
The original Alien.
That should look familiar. That's on my wall in my room. This is ridiculous. Okay. The kind of cool thing is that they don't just do, classic arcade games. It isn't like a barcade. They are specific within the fighting game community as well. They actually support a huge amount of Injustice and Mortal Kombat players, and the owner himself is a huge Mortal Kombat fan. Doc, the owner, is one of the nicest dudes we ever met. He invited us to the back, showed us his production studio, all the other games he has. He's got like a rival schools arcade machine, which I didn't even know existed, and this is pretty much like his baby. All these arcade machines are what he does. He goes out and just searches old, rare arcade machines and puts them up in this place for what I would say is one of the greatest arcades I've ever been to. Actually, I would just say it right now. It's the best arcade on the planet. I've made it a point to go and search out arcades, like awesome places that like supporting games and keeping them intact and in line and fixing them so that they're operable at all times, and this place just blows it all out of the water. It's incredible. One of the cooler things is that on the top of every single arcade machine, they have the world record score for that game. That's right, there's actually world records for arcade games across the globe, and certain places are very notorious for setting world records, and they also have the score for the world record next to the record that's in that direct arcade. So if you guys want to set a world record or a local record for that specific game, you can totally do so. It's freaking awesome how much they actually support everything. And outside of like the Injustice and the Mortal Kombat scene, they do things like Mortal Kombat and Injustice style arcade machines, Ultimate Marvel 3, Street Fighter 4, and freaking Killer Instinct. I couldn't believe it when I saw this stuff. Normally when you go to arcades, you kind of find console games available at any given time, and it's like, okay, well that's cool. You kind of just have to like wait for your turn to get up to something, but what's nice about this arcade is that even with console fighters, which I've always wanted to be in arcades, you can still get the arcade experience. Now a lot of you might be asking, well, what the hell does the arcade experience mean? It's pretty much quarters up. You go to a machine, you see two people playing or a few people playing, you put your quarter up to the machine or something to just signify that you're waiting, and then the next guy gets off once he's run out of money or anything like that, and he loses, and you get up to play. That's like the arcade experience, and you stay on the machine if you're winning. The coolest thing was that we walked in, and there was this Street Fighter 4 cabinet, and we started playing Street Fighter 4. We first had to beat the guy that was on it, and then once the guy got off, I got on, and whoever lost, the next person went up, and a little line would form behind us, and everyone treats it like an arcade. And the reason it works is because if you want access to anything in the arcade, the games don't run off quarters. They don't run off coins like normal arcades do. You walk in, you go to the front desk, and you give the guy $15, and at that point you have access to everything. All the console-made arcade machines, all the classic arcade machines, absolutely everything. So now that everyone is in this arcade, it's like everyone has quarters to put up, and everyone just waits in line to play the classic games. It was freaking ridiculously awesome to go up to a Killer Instinct machine and be the guy playing Fulgore, and you hear people behind you saying, whoa, that guy's pretty good with Fulgore, that guy's kind of hard to use, and it was just like arcades back in the day. I couldn't freaking believe it. Not to mention all the old stuff I'd never seen before, Strider 1 and 2 in arcade form, and a metric ton of other games. Seriously, anytime I go to Chicago, I'm going to Galloping Ghost. I'm not even gonna lie, when I walked into this place, the impression I had after leaving was that I could probably live in Chicago because of a place like this. It is that incredible. I feel like it was made for me, and the fact that it exists, and the fact that there's dudes like Doc out there going out and making something like this a possibility, really fills my heart with something that I just love. The preservation of old classic games in the highest regard to show new audiences and new people how cool the old stuff really is. It's kind of my entire thing when I was collecting arcade machines, and still trying to preserve them to this day. And if you guys want to take a taste of that preserved history and how freaking awesome it is in an environment that really is easy to play a whole bunch of games, please go to Illinois, go to Brookfield, and check out Galloping Ghost Arcade. I absolutely can't believe that a place like this still exists, and I'd want to go back just for this arcade and bring a few friends. As always, dudes, thank you very much for watching. If you've ever been to Galloping Ghost or you know about it, leave me a comment below. I was so captivated by this, I had to find the footage that I lost. That's why this video is quite delayed from the trip, but I feel like I need to do something for these guys because what they're doing is absolutely incredible, and you should definitely go check it out. As always, dudes, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.